Okay, so this is yacht control system. I have a Glendinning smart actuator 2, double, and then I have fuses, um, and I've put a simple switch out here to switch it on and off. And if you notice, I removed the lockouts. So these lockouts are not necessary. These are only for gear selection. Make sure you don't put into gear on startup accidentally, but I'll show you a way around that as well. So these are all 40 footers because I have a 40-foot yacht. So these are all 40 footers to stretch from engine room to helm. Helm station is here, standard Glendinning helm station, and I have a remote as well, so I can remotely control the yacht. I've removed the control processors. You can see those there. I might wire the control processors to the anchor, but we'll see how that works. These are the two smart actuator 2s, which are port and starboard configured. You can change these around. They come from the factory as port and starboard, so we're gonna do that. Standard cables go into this thing, which is my ECU. Go into that thing. The white is connected between the two, and one of the cables goes between the two to make sure they sync. The second cable goes into my handheld unit. I can also plug it into this one, but you've noticed I've put a termination here, and I've also put a termination on the end here, because you only need one termination. I have to put two for safety. So let me switch this whole thing on. You can see how it works, and I'll walk you through why I haven't put a station lockout, engine lockout. So if you switch it on, it powers on, and here's how it powers on. It powers on differently than the default setting. So I've got it set to warm mode, which means if I move my controller, you can see that it is not engaging the gear, even though I've selected the gear. So to get out of this, you have to deliberately switch it out from warm mode, so it acts like basically the same thing, but it makes it a lot more safe, because a cable function on the actuators won't lead to a loss of control of the whole yacht. So I also have a 1-second throttle delay, and I'll show you what that looks like. When I turn it, you can see, switch it to neutral, and you can see 1-second delay. So total delay in the system is 2 seconds. And since we have it out of warm mode now, so the gears actually change, so you can see it. When I switch it to reverse, you can see it switching to reverse with a 1-second built-in delay, so I can't jam the throttle out there, and you can see it responds correctly. I've set this one up as ID1, and I've set this one up as ID2. To switch between the two, I'll be doing active and active, and then it'll respond just like it did for the other one. So with the same 1-second delay. Obviously both of them work at the same time, so you can see it, me moving it into forward, and this one moving into forward. So this left one is the port one, obviously, and then the other one is the starboard one. So switching between the two, I do a take, and I do a take, and now I have control over the second one from this one, and same thing. So the Glendinning is pretty good, I would say. It's fairly straightforward. You do need to be careful of the system configuration, because that's where people get tripped up. So you need to follow the instructions precisely. Not everything is obvious and it takes a long time to get used to it, but once it works perfectly. You can see the wiring. This is my original safety lockout, which I'll remove. I don't need that. And then red, black crimped together, and that enables the system. Shut it off. I simply shut it off, and there you go. So Glendinning Yacht Control System, all in one small space, and this will be spread out over 40 feet. Alright, so the other question is, what will happen if I unplug this remote and it slightly unplug it. And power it on. The answer to that is this one comes active in warm mode and takes over the default ID of 1. So this is now primary control. You can switch this off and you can see it's primary control. Still has the 1 second delay. And if I plug it back in, align the red with the red, there you go, clicked in. Basically it resets the bus, it goes on the bus and it starts beeping, but it won't give you full control because this one has ID 1. Here you go, and that one doesn't. So I can't switch it or anything else. So what I need to do is reset the bus, and now this one is gone into ID 2, this one is ID 1, and I switch off warm mode and now have control over this guy with the same 1 second delay. So same process, leave it connected if you're gonna be using it. Otherwise, yeah, it will reset the bus. No hot plug in these controls.